you talked about the 0 degrees of Aries, and I wanted to zoom in there a little bit because you said it is the most powerful. I mean, that's quite a statement. And then you look at the Sabian symbols, and you said you kind of round it up to one when you start to analyze what's going on for Aries. And there's a very beautiful symbol there that also sort of speaks to community potentially being broader than just the human species.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thank you, Emma. Yes, the Sabian symbol for, you've got it rounded up to 1 degree of Aries. I don't know why, but that's the way they operate. And it is a seal coming out of the ocean to embrace a woman. The seal embraces the woman. I think, wow, yeah, it's just beautiful. I mean, how forgiving is that for a start? Of, we've not treated the animal world well, but there's a sense, because the animals are way ahead of us, I think, in their dimensions. I mean, the whales, the turtles, the dolphins are supposed to be 15th dimensional, according to Joan Ocean's beautiful work of swimming with the dolphins for many, many years. So they are helping to lead us in this evolution. And, we're the laggards here. Humanity are the laggards. So with this increasing psychic sensitivity and opening up of our multidimensionality, we are going to be able to communicate with the animal world, the tree world, the plant world in a much deeper way than we have ever done. And it will bring us back to this sense of one consciousness. So when you're asking about community, Amrit, it doesn't just mean I'm going to get together with my friends down the street and buy a plot of land and grow parsnips. It's actually coming together with all of life, not just human life, animal life, tree life. And actually that's going to include the galactic beings. It's going to include the inner earth beings. It's going to include the sea beings. It's going to include all forms of life within this one consciousness, of which we are one divine fractal. And that's really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it is inspiring to feel into, and I can see where we're shifted. But at the moment, the more I look around, people are really feeling the squeeze, like really feeling the squeeze as they're going through this shift and transition. Is it a case that, what you're sharing has a lot of hope, a lot of inspiration in it? Is that also by design, knowing that this time is actually going to be kind of crunchy for us to actually need to move through?
It is, because it's the breakdown of the old order and the old systems. But it's kind of as crunchy as we allow it to be, if you know what I mean. Because if we can stay, as I so often bang on about, in a better state of love and joy and peace and gratitude and compassion, I do believe that we will be bubble wrapped from some of the worst excesses, personally. It doesn't mean totally, because there are going to be some big global events, I think, to do with, increased seismic activity, and I can talk about reasons for that, and landmass changes, that kind of thing. So it isn't that life will be perfectly smooth, because I don't think it will for everybody at all. That's kind of pie in the sky. But the more you can stay in a good state, the more you'll be able to ride the waves. And we all have personal challenges. I mean, these are big times. I mean, we can see that a lot of the political system isn't working. We can see a lot of the medical system isn't working, the judicial system, many systems aren't working. The power grids are going to be incredibly challenged going forwards. We had the big blackout recently in Portugal and Spain and a bit of southern France. The power grids will be increasingly challenged because they're very old in many countries, UK particularly, US particularly, and this striving for green energy, which seems like a wonderful idea because it's not dirty energy and isn't that great, is actually incompatible with the old power grid systems. So what this will force ultimately is a shift to free energy, which of course was developed many years ago and hasn't been publicly available. But I mean, I was just reading today before I hopped online here that there's some Australian engineers who've developed a motor that runs on light. Some scientists have discovered that there's enough hydrogen in the earth to generate free energy for the whole of the earth for 170,000 years. I was just reading that this morning. There are 3 African schoolgirls, literally schoolgirls, in a tiny village that has no electricity. They have learned how to generate electricity for their village through their urine. And it must be the urea in their urine that's doing that. So, from the tiny to the, potentially much greater, there are going to be so many exciting innovations, solutions, rediscoveries, remembrances. And with galactic input as well, I feel, we are going to move to an age of incredible, infinite amounts of free energy. So we're not going to pay electricity bills in future, etc. But we are in a period of collapse at the moment. And just recognize that's what it is. So don't think, oh my God, the world's gone to hell in a handbasket. Well, it has, but only temporarily. And astrologers would be surprised if this wasn't happening, because I've been talking about this for the last 3 years. And, I'm sure other astrologers have too, that the old has to collapse, firstly, for us to see we're not going to do that again and end up in such a state of suffering and wars and poverty and misery and disease. We're not going to do that again. So we have to see it, but also to really birth something fundamentally different, more loving, heart-centered, and based on community. We're going to be living from the heart moving forwards.
And 2025 really seems, things start to ease off. Is it 2027 or 2028? But 2025 seems to be the real, where the sort of jam hits the scone sort of thing.
Yeah, this is the big year of change, and I was anticipating this, but we really are, and there's lots more to come. There's lots more to come this year, but between now and April 2026, Pluto's already made its move into Aquarius, and it's not going back into Capricorn. But apart from that, the other outer planets, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and I'm not even thinking here of the dwarf planets, are all going to be changing signs back and forwards until next April. As of next April, Uranus finally moves into Gemini in this current cycle, and it stays there till 2033. So they have settled, if you like, in their new signs in the tropical Western zodiac as of April next year. And I haven't looked at 2026 in great detail, but I believe there'll be a settling, because there's an astrological settling of less toing and froing, an old world and new world, and where are we, and the old's collapsing, nothing's reliable, that another blackout, did you remember to buy a candle and a torch and a bottle of water? So this is the big year of turbulence. And I feel late spring, early summer, it starts to settle a little bit. That's my view. But this big physiological change we're going through will obviously continue for quite some years. We're just at the beginning of this metamorphosis, really. But it's exciting, and at least we're here at the beginning.
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.